Picture this. It's Thursday, the 1st of June 2023, 9:52 inches the morning. The sun is blazing in Bayamón. Plaza Tropical is packed with people shopping. And suddenly, a burst of gunfire rings out like something from an action flick. 30-plus shots, 3 different calibers, a black 2008 Infiniti EX35 riddled with holes like paper, and inside, still slumped in the driver's seat, the lifeless body of one of the most respected and feared cats to ever come out of the Juana Matos projects in Cataño, Neftali Alvarez Núñez, better known as Pacho el Antifeka, Pacho Alcaedas, or just Pacho. The same dude who rapped with Daddy Yankee and Bad Bunny, the same one who founded Alcaedas Inc., the same one who saved Kendo Capone's life. The same one who helped Anuel step foot back in Puerto Rico without getting snatched at the airport. That very man was just executed in broad daylight, unarmed, with an electronic ankle monitor on, and leaving a doctor's appointment. Today, I'm not gonna give you the light version of the story everyone already knows. Today, I'm taking you deep inside the projects, into the federal hallways, into the kingpins meetings where not even armed security is allowed. Today, I'm gonna tell you who Pacho el Antifeka really was, why he was so respected on the streets and in the studio, how he hit the top 3 times and got knocked down twice, and why the streets finally decided to collect the final debt on the 1st of June 2023. If you thought you already knew everything, stick around. Because what's coming next, nobody's told you like this. Hold on tight, turn on the AC, lock the door, because this is Maleantes de Puerto Rico, and today we're going all in on the legend who never gave up until the streets said, enough is enough. Before we enter the kill zone, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. We talk about what others are too scared to mention. If you're ready for the uncensored truth, let's roll. The kid from Juana Matos, who had it all, and lost it all before he was 22. Let's roll back to the 24th of March, 1981. Neftali Alvarez Núñez is born in the Juana Matos projects, Cataño. That small housing project, right by the water, full of alleys and back streets, is the same place where a ton of major players in the genre grew up. Even as a youngster, Neftali was different, a street guy, but with an insane ear for music. In 1997, at just 16 years old, he links up with a homie named Isaac, and they form the duo Pacho and Kruger. Imaginen 2 skinny black dudes, hat facing forward, with the rawest underground flow. They dropped their first track on DJ Black's Funky Town 98 album with the song Tu Eres Mi Girl. It wasn't a smash hit worldwide, but the blocks already knew who they were. The next year, 1999, they get on La Misión 1, the compilation that defined a generation. They were rapping side by side with guys who would later become legends. And in 2000, they managed to get onto one of the most important productions in reggaeton history, Boricua Night. They shared a track with Tego Calderón, Eddie D, Daddy Yankee, Héctor, y Tito, Wisin, y Yandel. Imagine the hype for 2 kids from Cataño. In 2001, they're on Boricua NY2 and dropped their first official video, Toma Pa Que Respete. That track started blasting in cars, at corner stores, and in the neighborhood clubs. But the real knockout comes in 2002 when White Lion puts them on Planet Reggae, the same album that featured Tego's Cosa Buena. That's where Pacho and Kruger scored big with 2 songs that are still classic throwbacks, Deo Lo Que Pide and Chica Loca. They shot those videos with whatever budget they had. But the energy was insane. People on the street started saying, these 2 are about to blow up. With that momentum, they decide to drop their first and only album as a duo, Los Negritos del Momento, 12 tracks of pure underground street heat. Pacho, barely 21, already felt like he was on top of the world. He told everyone, I made it. My life is set. He bought a chain, bought a car, was walking around with local security. He thought reggaeton had pulled him out of the hole for good. But life on the street doesn't play out that way. In 2003, they appear one last time as a duo on Ground Zero, El Nuevo Comienzo with the track Bum Bum. And suddenly, bam, Isaac, his day one homie, decides to join the evangelical church and ghosts the music scene. Pacho is left high and dry. No duo, no strong label, no direction. Frustration eats him alive. He starts beefing with everyone, drinking too much, arguing with the few managers he had left. And that's when he makes the decision that changed his life again. He quits music, quits the studio, dumps his dreams, and starts working as a rebar bender in construction, going from rapping with Daddy Yankee on historic compilations to bending steel rods all day in construction sites in Cataño and Bayamón. Imagine the mental beatdown. The same guy who had his own album, whose music was on the radio, now hauling cement bags and eating rice and beans on the job site. The guys in the project saw him and were like, "Pacho, what are you doing here? Man, you're an artist." And he'd reply, "Music ain't feeding me, I gotta hustle." On that very construction site, bending rebar and sweating bullets, he meets a carpenter named Julio Ángel Lago Ferrer, later known as Cirilo. The two start talking about music again, about the good old days. Cirilo had also tried to sing before, but nothing serious. And right there, between concrete blocks and cement, the seed of Pacho y Cirilo was planted. But that's for another part of the story. Because at that moment, Pacho didn't know that the worst and the best parts of his life were still ahead. What he did know was that the streets were calling him again. And this time, it wasn't to sing. From rebar guy to hanging with the heavyweights, the meeting that put him back in the game. After Isaac found religion, and Pacho and Kruger split up in 2003, Neftali was left with Jack Squad. Their album, Los Negritos del Momento, was still playing in the blocks, but there were no more tours, no strong label, no checks. His pride killed him. The guy who had rapped alongside Tego Calderón and Daddy Yankee was now bending rebar 12 hours a day under the Cataño and Bayamón sun. He woke up at 5 in the morning, ate rice and beans from a lunchbox, and was caked in cement up to his elbows. People in the Juana Matos project saw him pass by and couldn't believe their eyes. "Pacho, what the hell are you doing here, bro? You're an artist." And he, with his head down, would answer, "Music ain't putting food on the table. I gotta make money one way or another." On one of those construction sites, he meets Julio Ángel Lago Ferrer, later known as Cirilo. Cirilo was a carpenter, a serious, quiet dude, but he had flow. The two start talking on breaks, reminiscing about the times they'd each tried to sing on their own. Cirilo tells him he'd recorded some backup vocals here and there, nothing major. Pacho tells him, "I'm done with this, man, it doesn't pay." But the streets never fully let him go. Little by little, he starts hanging out again, getting into the heavy stuff. He wasn't the little kid who rapped on Funky Town 98 anymore. Now he was a guy in his 20s with real connections. Around that same time, between 2008 and 2009, he meets Kendo Caponi. Kendo was starting to make noise with Cosculluela and Don Omar, but he had serious street beefs. According to the stories, Kendo got into a situation where he was about to get whacked, and Pacho, who already had respect and muscle in Juana Matos, stepped in. He literally saved his life. Kendo never forgot that. Years later, when asked, Kendo said clearly, "Today, he walks the streets and has life because of me. Life, life, life. Not just a feeling, life." That blood debt was the beginning of everything that came next. Pacho starts moving around again, recording some ad-libs with Nance and Cirilo. There was no label yet, no name yet, but the streets could already smell that something big was brewing. The guy who had been missing for 5 years was about to make a comeback, and this time, he wasn't coming back alone. Al-Qaeda's ink is born from a betrayal, and Pacho and Cirilo break the internet. 2009, 2010 is the key moment. Kendo Caponi, who was already the right hand of Cosculluela and had a contract with Don Omar's El Orfanato music group, coined the term Al-Qaedas to group the homies he considered family, the ones who were truly in the streets. Don Omar gives him a heavy ultimatum. Either you sign a loan for millions, or you stick with them and you can go to hell. Kendo chooses his crew. He breaks up with Don Omar and gives the name Al-Qaedas to Pacho and Cirilo. Imagine that level of loyalty. 2010. Kendo officially introduces Pacho and Cirilo to the genre. They drop No Me Ronques de Jodedor and they explode. In 2011, they formally create Al-Qaedas Incorporated. Pacho becomes the main face. They start dropping hit track after track. Me Van a Dar, Sentimientos de un Gangster with Weeval and Alex, Auténtico el Imparable, and Ñengo Flow. La disco se encendió. These tracks in 2011 and 2012 smashed YouTube. Millions and millions of views in a time when not everyone had fast internet. People went bonkers over the videos of rifles, bulletproof vests, and phrases like "with humility and respect." Pacho wasn't signing artists as a boss from on high. He'd sit them down next to him and they'd rap straight up. That's how Alexio La Bestia, Juanca, Britiago, Baby Johnny, Neo Garcia all got their first big hit with Al-Qaedas. In 2013, they released the album Los Dueños de la Calle, con humildad y respeto. Collabs with De La Ghetto, Luigi 21, plus Jay Álvarez, Ñengo Flow. Tracks like Los Rápidos pa' las Misiones and Pregúntale a la Luna became street anthem bangers. 2014, They Keep Dropping Fire. Odiada por muchas, El que tenga miedo que se white. Pacho wasn't the kid from Pacho and Kruger anymore. Now, he was Pacho Alcaedas, the guy who controlled drug spots, who solved problems for half the music scene, who had real respect in projects all over Puerto Rico. People saw him in the videos with a vest, with rifles, with armored cars, and they knew it wasn't for show. It was real. The federal bust that sent him to the pen and almost ended everything. Everything was going perfectly until the 21st of March 2015. Police caught him sleeping in Cataño trying to ditch a Glock 9mm modified for full automatic bursts. They grabbed him in front of a neighborhood business. They took him federal. In January 2016, he pleads guilty. The prosecution brings in Alcaeda's videos with rifles, they bring in song lyrics, they bring everything. Judge Jose A. fustelays into him, even blaming the music he made. He gets hit with over 8 years in federal prison plus 3 years of supervised release, but the defense fights hard. In October 2016, the same judge cuts the sentence to 3 years inside and 3 years of supervision. Pacho goes into the Fed's custody. Alcaedas deflates without its leader. Cirilo moves up to the States. The label goes silent. But the streets don't forget. While he's locked up, Kendo Caponi drops the remix of Mi Quieren Matar and slips in a verse from Pacho, recorded from prison on a crappy phone. That verse became legendary. People listened to it and got goosebumps. The guy was caged up and still sounded harder than anyone outside. 3 years later, in 2017, he gets out with an electronic ankle monitor, a total lifetime ban on touching guns, and on supervised release. He comes out skinny, with a shaved head, but with a look in his eye that was colder than ever. People thought, that's it. Pacho's retiring, he's gonna focus on his family. But the streets knew that when Pacho el Antifeka gets out of the cage, he always comes back more of a savage than before. Subscribe if you're digging this video, hit the bell, and tell me in the comments if you heard that verse from the Feds when it dropped. We keep going. The comeback from hell. He leaves the Feds and becomes the star nobody expected. Pacho gets out of federal prison with the ankle monitor on 36 years old, 3 years wasted, and a permanent ban on touching a gun. Everyone thought, he's done, this dude is gonna chill out, focus on his 4 kids and the church. But nope. The minute he walks through the door, Eric Duars, the same manager as Raul Alejandro, snags him and tells him, you can go commercial without changing who you are. Trust me. He starts dropping tracks that no one expected from him. Cuidao, 2017, more melodic, more radio-friendly. Then comes Como Soy, with Daddy Yankee and Bad Bunny in 2018. Imaginen the chaos. Pacho was the second artist in history after Luna to manage to get those two on the same track. The video explodes. Millions of views in weeks. People couldn't believe it. The same guy who was in videos with a bulletproof vest was now rapping alongside the 2 biggest names of the moment. He follows up with Triste with Nicky Jam, No Te Veo, which he later remixes with Wisin and Yandel and Jay Wheeler. The No Te Veo remix in 2021 was another huge hit. Pacho wasn't just a tough guy from Alcaedas anymore. Now he was blasting on Spotify editorial playlists, in Miami nightclubs, in the cars of kids who weren't even born when he debuted on Funky Town 98. And in October 2021, he drops what would be his only solo album, All-Star Game, recorded under Duars Entertainment and Warner Music Latina. The name says it all. Top-tier collaborations with Wisin and Yandel, Arcángel, Rauw, Alejandro, Lunay, Nicky Jam, Casper Mágico, Neo Garcia, Alex Rose, and even Cirilo comes back after years of not speaking. Tracks like Olvídate de él with Alex Rose, Triste with Nicky Jam, and Que Será with Casper and Nayo hit the charts. Pacho was back on top, but this time with million-dollar contracts, tours, designer clothes, and millions of followers. The guy who had bent rebar and been a federal convict was now on magazine covers and giving interviews, saying, I lived my life, now I live for my kids. The people on the street couldn't believe it. Pacho went comercial, but he's still the same savage. The last quiet months, or so it seemed, the FBI raid and the calm before the end. 2022 and early 2023 were weird. Pacho wasn't posting pics with rifles, he wasn't talking about drug spots, he wasn't throwing shade. He posted stories playing with his 4 kids, thanking Eric Duars, saying he was focused on music and family. People commented, Pacho retired from the streets, he's chilling, but the streets never retire from you. March 2023. Suddenly, in the early morning, SWAT and the FBI come through like a movie into his apartment in the Juan Matos projects, Cataño. They drag him out in his boxers, throw him to the ground, they're looking for weapons, and they find 2 pistols with ammo. Pacho quickly says, "Those belong to my wife, she has a license, his wife was out of the country." For the feds, that doesn't matter. A federal convict can't have guns near him, even if they're legal and belong to someone else. He gets arrested again. They take him to the federal facility in Guaynabo. They charge illegal possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Everyone thought he's screwed this time, he's easily gonna get 10 or 15 years. But on March 22, 2023, federal judge Ada Delgado Colon releases him on a $10,000 bond. Yep, 10 grand. She lays down super strict conditions. Electronic ankle monitor again, third-party custody, weekly drug test, a total ban on leaving the country, a total ban on being near guns or people with records. Pacho gets out again, with the shining monitor on his ankle, saying in his stories, "Thank God and my lawyers, we keep moving forward." The streets started whispering, Pacho's unarmed. He's alone. He's vulnerable. And when the streets talk like that, it's because something is cooking. Thursday, the 1st of June, 2023, 9:52 a.m., the day the legend went dark. Thursday, the 1st of June, 2023, Pacho wakes up early, takes one of his kids to the doctor, then goes to his own medical appointment. He finishes, leaves calmly, gets into his black 2008 Infiniti X35 that he loves so much. He drives to Plaza Tropical on Highway 167 near 174, Bayamón. A regular strip mall, people shopping, moms with strollers, the sun blazing at 9:52 a.m. He parks, gets out for a moment, makes a quick purchase, returns to the car. He gets in, closes the door, and right there, 2 or 3 gunmen walk up to him. Nobody knows if they were on a bike, in a car, or on foot. What is known is that they unloaded over 30 rounds from 3 different calibers, 9mm, 40, and 45. The front windshield is shut up like a sieve. The black Infiniti is riddled with bullets from side to side. Pacho takes multiple hits, remains seated in the driver's seat. No seatbelt, no chance to defend himself. People hear the shots, call 911. The police arrive fast. They find him lifeless inside the car. He still had the electronic ankle monitor on. He was still under federal supervision. He was still awaiting trial for the 2 pistols from the raid. The pictures of the shot-up car spread through WhatsApp, Telegram, and Twitter in minutes. All of Puerto Rico went silent. Those who loved him couldn't believe it. Those who envied him couldn't believe it either. The guy who had survived the feds twice, who had come back from nothing 3 times, who had helped out half the music industry, had just been executed in broad daylight. No security, no gun, no one to cover his back. And that's when the strangest silence the Puerto Rican streets had felt in a long time began, because everyone knew that this was not going to end there. Or so we thought. The war everyone expected. That never came. Rumors, threats, and the heaviest silence on the street. On the 1st of June 2023, after the picture of the bullet-riddled Infiniti went viral, all of Puerto Rico braced for the worst. Everyone was saying, it's about to go down now, it's gonna be blood for blood. And yeah, the first few days were pure fire on social media. Videos went viral of people yelling, G27, J80, blood and war in the projects. TikTok and Instagram were filled with stories, showing red hats, pistols tucked in waistbands, cars burning rubber. A supposed hit list circulated with Hansel, an artist allegedly from Pacho's crew, his wife, and a guy named Bebo. People posted screenshots saying, "You're Antifeka, not anti-bullet," you scrub and posting locations. Even a photo of Anuel with a red pistol in his pants circulated with mocking comments. Another post that freaked everyone out said, "Give yourself up, my son, they're gonna collect a lot. Pacho's not here to vouch for you anymore." Kendo Caponi posted a black photo with the phrase, "Until my life goes silent. What's behind my face is gonna swear to God that the one who made me cry for you is gonna choke on blood." People interpreted that as a direct declaration of war. The mayor of Cataño, Julio Alicea Vasallo, went on TV begging for calm and saying the feds were going to install more cameras, more patrols, and even mobile police units to prevent a revenge killing. The feds themselves asked for backup because they knew if Juan Matos blew up, all of Puerto Rico would catch fire. But something super weird happened. The days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and the war never arrived. No one was killed. No one retaliated. The videos of blood and war started disappearing. The stories were deleted. Hansel was still alive. Babel was still alive. Pacho's crew stayed quiet. A lot of people on the street started saying the feds had the spot locked down, that no one wanted to get hit with a federal murder charge again, that the supervision was so heavy they couldn't even move to seek revenge. Others said Pacho himself had left orders not to do anything, that he wanted his kids to grow up without any more bodies dropping. In 2024, a year later, the same mayor of Cataño confirmed in an interview what everyone suspected. Pacho's murder was a score to settle. But to this day, December 2025, no one is in custody. The case is still open, the investigation is still ongoing, and the streets stayed silent. The heaviest silence anyone can remember. The military-level security wake, the burial, and the messages that broke the internet. The wake was held on the 8th of June 2023 in the Juana Matos Project's Cataño. They set up the viewing chapel in the same project where Pacho was born and raised. By 6 inches the morning, there was a line of thousands of people. But it wasn't a normal wake. There was police everywhere, undercover federal agents, private security, drones flying over. They feared the gunmen would show up to finish the job or that Pacho's people would try something. In the end, nothing happened, but the atmosphere was tense as piano wire. The casket was open. Pacho was dressed in white, with a gold chain, a rosary in his hand. Thousands of people passed by to say their last goodbyes. From young kids from the projects to major artists who arrived in armored cars. The family asked for total respect, and they got it. The next day, they took him to the Porta Coeli National Cemetery in Bayamón. The burial was more private, but still with heavy security. They lowered him into the ground while Sentimientos de un Gangster and Pregúntale a la Luna blasted at full volume. People were crying, throwing flowers, shouting, Al Qaeda's forever. And that's when the messages that still hurt to read started. Daddy Yankee uploaded an old photo of the two young men dreaming about music and wrote the longest, most heartfelt thing seen from him. I'm not one to judge anyone's personal life, but I can judge the way people treat me. Based on that judgment, I can choose my friends. I am aware that you always treated me with respect, appreciation, honesty, sincerity, and loyalty. To me, those qualities are worth a lot because they are not easily found these days. When I manage to find a person with such qualities, I offer them my sincere friendship regardless of their social status, skin color, religion, or sexual orientation. And I assure you, brother, you were a real one with me. From our beginnings at a young age, dreaming of this career, I am happy to know that I was able to contribute to your life. Much strength to all your loved ones. You are in our prayers. Rest in peace. Farruko, Nicky Jam, Ñengo Flow, Joven Chimmy, Wisin and Yandel, Lenny Tavares, Noriel, Rauw Alejandro, everyone posted something. Even Bad Bunny put up a black photo without saying a word. The entire genre went into mourning. And so, with thousands of people at the cemetery, with messages that broke the internet, and with a silence that still weighs heavily, the chapter of Neftali Álvarez Núñez, Pacho el Antifeka, closed. The man who lived 3 different lives, who helped half the world, and who ultimately paid the highest price for the streets that never let him go. What did Pacho el Antifeka really leave us? The legacy nobody can erase. Look, when we talk about legacy, a lot of people just focus on the numbers. Millions of views, collabs with Daddy Yankee, Bad Bunny, Wisin and Yandel, Rauw Alejandro, and yeah, that's all there. All-Star Game is still playing in cars, in clubs, on playlists. But Pacho's legacy goes way beyond the music. Pacho was one of the few who showed he could live 3 different lives and be a legend in all 3. First life, the kid from Pacho and Kruger who rapped on La Misión and Boricua NY before reggaeton went global. Second life, Pacho Alcaedas who founded Al-Qaeda Inc. with Kendo and Cirilo, who controlled real spots in Juana Matos. Cataño, who saved Kendo Caponi's life, who opened doors for Alexio Juanca, Britiago, and dozens more. Third life, the Pacho who got out of the federal pen with an ankle monitor and reinvented himself as a commercial artist, signed with Warner, sold out shows, and recorded with the biggest names of the moment without losing street cred. Pacho wasn't a singer who talked about the streets. He was the streets singing. His lyrics weren't fake when he said in No Tiene Rifle that he didn't carry a gun but had people who watched his back. It was true. When he sang about loyalty, betrayal, drug spots, war, he wasn't making it up, he was living it. And that's why when he spoke, the kingpins listened and the kids in the projects felt represented. Pacho helped half the music scene without asking for anything in return. He gave Anuel a hand up when no one even wanted him to set foot in Puerto Rico. He gave advice to the new guys. He gave shelter, food, and studio time to those who had nothing. And when he fell, the entire street felt like they lost a big brother. Today, in 2025, no one is in jail for his death. The case is still open, the investigation is still ongoing, but the street knows they'll probably never get the full truth. And yet, every time Sentimientos de un Gangster Pregúntale a la Luna, ¿Cómo soy? Or Triste Como Son, people stop, crank up the volume and say, that was Pacho, the real king of the projects. Because Pacho didn't leave. Pacho became a legend, and legends don't die. They stay forever on the speakers, in the blocks, in the memory of those who know what it means to live with humility and respect. A man who was born in the Juana Matos projects in Cataño on the 24th of March 1981, who dreamed of being an artist when hardly anyone believed in reggaeton, who hit the top, who fell to the feds twice, who got up 3 times stronger, who helped hundreds without making noise, who left 4 kids and an uneraseable legacy, and who was taken out on a random Thursday in 2023 in broad daylight in Bayamón, at only 42 years old. Thank you for sticking with this intense and personal video until the end. If any part of this story hit you hard, made you think, or just kept you glued to the screen, please leave me a comment telling me what impacted you the most, what your favorite Pacho song was, or which part of his life stood out to you. I read every comment, and each one helps me continue bringing these real stories with the respect they deserve. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and share it with someone who needs to know the truth behind the legends. Here at Maleantes de Puerto Rico, we'll keep telling the stories no one else dares to tell, always with the truth first, and respect as our banner. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support. Family, be safe out in the streets, and remember, loyalty and respect are the only things nobody can take away from you. See you in the next video. Blessings and peace out.